Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday to you, live from the Hideaway at Syracuse Lake Golf Club. I can't speak. I need to stop. Actually, if I keep doing that, everybody's going to think it's just their internet.
You guys at Goz's house doing the show?
I'm in a tunnel. We are here. It is a football Sunday. I am miserable for what I would believe to be very good reasons. I'll do another Bloody Mary if you got the time. I'm not proud.
That's a nice segue in there, right?
Yeah,
just into the Yankee game.
right. I mean, right then and there, I knew that there was nothing to be happy about. Yeah, we're here at the Hideaway, and that's what I got for you. That's where I live. That's where I stand.
Levack, I did not think we'd be talking Yankee baseball out of the gates. There's such a great college football weekend, an awesome NFL weekend to get to, but unfortunately for Yankee fans like yourself, we have to talk about what the hell happened last night involving the Bronx Bombers.
That's what happened. You hear that? So that's a full breakdown of the game.
It's a fart noise.
Fart noise. I knew I was in trouble when I lit the cigar in the backyard, and there was no draw. You know what I mean? It was too tightly packed. And, there was something I knew we were in trouble. I knew it was going to be a problem. And sure enough, it was indeed that. Luis Severino was not good, but he leveled out. You know, he got himself together. Trevino came out. He was okay. Johnny Lasagna was okay. Peralta, not okay. Schmidt, not okay. And Yankees back to their old ways of, we don't like getting hits with runners in scoring position. We don't enjoy getting runners into scoring position. Who needs small ball? Nobody could ever beat a team that hits home runs with small ball. And here we are.
It might be too hyperbole this early on a Sunday morning.
You're high?
But the decision to put in Clark Schmidt over Clay Holmes, the closer, the New York Yankee franchise known for closers finishing playoff games, Rivera, the Hall of Famer, Aroldis Chapman, sitting at Miami, watching the playoffs, not on the roster. Aaron Boone decided, with the season potentially on the line, I know they got another game coming up, but now it really is on the line. Hey, we're not going to throw our closer in the bottom of the ninth, even though he pitched yesterday under 20 pitches, even though in the post-game press conference, Holmes said he was good to go, although Aaron Boone said he wasn't good to go. Miscommunication, somebody's lying, not quite sure. They decide not to throw Holmes, the closer, on the team. They put in Schmidt, a starter, out of the bullpen. He gets shelled, for whatever that term is, in the ninth inning, blows the game, it's over, and the Yankees lose to the Guardians because they don't throw their closer in the bottom of the ninth inning. Like, this is one of the worst decisions, it feels like, we've seen in baseball in a long time. It feels, and as a Yankee fan, I'm going to defer this to you, like a worse decision than when Girardi, in a similar series, I believe also against Cleveland, decided not to replay and review a play in that ALDS, and he took a lot of grief for not replaying a situation in that series, but the Yankees eventually won that series anyways. This feels worse than that, not throwing your closer in the ninth inning in a pivotal game.
Yeah, I mean, well, it didn't work out. I can tell you, hindsight being 2020, it was a bad decision. I'll go with that. There's got to be a reason, right? Like, there's got to be something behind it. You know, the three-run lead, the whatever, or, you know, the 2-run lead, whatever the hell. I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning was. Maybe he saw Smith had a good bullpen. I don't know. I've just reached that level of, like, you can see this Yankee team. You can kind of see when they're going to fight and when they're not. And this looked like a game they were going to fight in. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, here we go. Like, Judge hits that 2-run home run to tie it up early, because early I was like, wow, Severino is completely crapping the bed. They're in big trouble. We're not even going to get out of the third inning before this thing is over. Start planning how you're going to do your pitching tomorrow. Then Judge hits that home run, and I'm like, okay, all right, this is one of those fight games where it doesn't matter what you do, they're going to win. And as the game went on, it became kind of clear that it wasn't really a fight game. It was more of a, hey, let's get the crap beat out of this game. Let's you know what? People are too comfortable around here. Let's go down 2-1. Let's do that.
Did you see the stat that ESPN has been showing today on the ticker about the New York Yankees in the ninth inning in the postseason? The New York Yankees, lifetime, going into the ninth inning, were 167-0, leading by 2 or more runs in the ninth inning. 167-0, Levack.
67-1.
In one now.
167-1.
Is it too easy to blame Boone? Because you went through all, like, Severino was good, Judge was good, everybody else was good. You got in this position where you can win the game.
Yeah.
And people are going to point to Boone and be like, you overmanaged. You and I earlier this week, we've done 3 shows this week at the Hooters show on Thursday, which you can go back and listen to. You gave me a little bit of grief because I was like, guys, it seems like gloom and doom because the Yankees got to play 4-4 and they have to, on potentially game 5, not throw their best pitcher. It feels like Boone overmanaged. Like, this was not a hard one. Hey, he threw less than 20 pitches. He's your closer. You got to get the win. You got to get up in the series. He probably was thinking about game 4 and game 5 and thought, okay, we're up 2 runs, 167-0. All we need is a few outs. We'll save Holmes to push us to the ALCS. Boone overmanaged, overthought it. The analytics, God, I want to puke because analytics is taking over all of sports, even worse than it's been the last 6 or 7 years. It really feels like Boone overmanaged and overthought that, and it really hurt the Yankees.
So here's the thing. Yes, it's Boone's fault unless it's not. And the only way it's not Boone's fault is if he's willing to do something that could get him fired. If he's willing to come out and go, no, this was analytics. They made me do this. This was a decision from on high of, well, the analytics say Schmidt's the answer here. And I went, no, it's freaking Holmes. Like, let's deal the hot him. Joe Torre's putting Mariano Rivera in that game. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Joe Torre is doing that. Joe Torre's putting Wetland in that game. That dirty effort. But like this, I'm hoping Boone has like a full Ron Rivera moment where he just tells the truth all of a sudden. Hey, Ron Rivera, why aren't you as good as the other team's quarterback? Like, and then he'll have to walk it back the next day. But still, if he just comes out today and goes like, hey, how'd you lose that game? Because they told me to. They told me to lose the game. They told me what to do. And, Judge is out there saying all the right things. We're going to get this win tonight. We'll bring it back to the Bronx. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. It was pretty depressing. It was a depressing moment. And when you look at the way the rest of the playoffs are going, do I have a lot of reason to believe that the Yankees are going to just come out and handle business today? I don't necessarily have a lot of reason to believe that. No one else did.
Maybe managers can stop throwing starters out of the bullpen. Almost 10 years. And if someone has one, please, at Tom Goz, TOMG, it was easy on Twitter. Underneath the show, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, at the Jeff Levack on Twitter. The only time I can really confidently say, wow, starter out of the bullpen was the right move in the playoffs over the last 10 years is Madison Bumgarner, Game 7 against the Royals in the World Series. Now, that is a lumberjack. That is Paul Bunyan coming out. He like, that's one of the great.
Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling for Arizona. Didn't they both?
Yeah. So that's what, 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Crazy to think about that. That's that long ago that it's really a rarity that you and I just listed 3 pitchers of the last 22 years that have done it. It's hard to have a starter come out in the postseason.
The only problem I have with it is if Severino gets chased in 3 or 4, even when he first comes out, if you go ahead and throw somebody in right then because you need to eat the innings and you think that they've got it figured out, I have no problem with it. It's when you put them in place of a guy who's built for that.
Yes,
like when you put him in place of Clay Holmes, who is built to close the game. When you put him in place of a Johnny Lasagna, who's been a great middle reliever, stuff like that, like a setup guy, like that's when I have a problem with it. That's when it doesn't make sense to me. Because again, it's not like there's no way you go into that last night and openly tell everybody like, look, I'm just not going to burn out Holmes because I feel like I have a better chance to win the next 2 games. Because even with Garrett Cole on the bump, you're gonna see Bieber again now. You're gonna and Quantrill's not bad. He's very, very good. So like you're gonna see their best pitchers again now, both of them. Where if you win last night, you see Quantrill with Cole on the mound to close this thing out. And that's the kind of game where that's why you're paying Garrett Cole $75 gajillion a minute. Like, because he's going to come out there and throw 7 2/3, lock it down, get it done for you. He's going to give up a home run. He always gives up at least one. That's his thing. He doesn't feel like he's breathing until he gives up a home run. I get it. It's like getting punched in the face in a boxing match. You're not in it until it happens. But, like, now you're going to see Bieber again, too. It's going to be Cortez versus Bieber. And you're going to go into, if it all works out for you, and this is if you get through today, even with the way you've been playing. Or tonight was 7:05 first pitch.
7:05, yep. Standalone game.
Yeah, a lot of standalone games today. You now are going to go into a series against the Astros with Severino on the mound, or Garrett Cole on short rest.
The short rest thing, I'm glad you brought that up, that last point there, because that's what's scaring me if I'm a Yankee fan about that term right there, because we just watched yesterday Aaron Boone say, you know what, Holmes is on short rest, again, less than 20 pitches thrown. We can't throw him again. Hey, Garrett Cole's in a spot that he's not used to in his career, whatever that start comes or whenever, how many innings he throws. We are understanding that the postseason doesn't follow regular season rules. Trying to project where guys are going to go, that's just not how it happens in the postseason. However, Aaron Boone now has me, I think you texted me this term earlier this week, in a mental pretzel of how to figure out this series and where it's going to go from here. You would think it should be the Yankees tonight. I would hope it's the Yankees tonight, just getting this thing to 5 games. But boy, that was a really arguably the worst decision of Aaron Boone's managerial career, and that guy's taken some heat when he hasn't had to. That one last night was bad.
And you just extended him, too, by the way, so stop saying fire him because you're not going to be able to. You just extended him.
Yeah.
If he goes, you got to take cash with him, which I know some of you guys love that idea, but I just don't see how that makes it better. And my favorite part about this, let's not forget, the people screaming the loudest about everything that's wrong today are the ones who called me a moron in the beginning of the year when I said they could win the American League.
That's right.
So the fact that they're here, you should just be grateful. I get to bitch because I said they could be here.
They've gone farther than the Rays. They've gone farther than the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, and preseason the Orioles.
No, the Red Sox have gone farther. They're all on vacation, like Barbados or golfing in the Keys. Like
they've got vegetables in their drinks as well.
Yeah, they don't. They're gone. They're living the high life, buddy. That's frozen.
For our audio audience, Levack was just eating celery.
And it was a frozen because it had been sitting in the ice by itself for a little bit. So that almost hurt. That was almost a problem. All right. So Yankees tonight, hopefully they push this thing to a game 5. But meanwhile, just like we drew it up in the National League. I mean, I think when everybody sat down, they went, you know what I really expect? The 5 and the 6 seeds to advance. The Padres and the Phillies are going to go after it. It's going to be great. What about the Braves and the Dodgers? Who? Come on. Those guys are so last year.
So 3 100-win teams are not hitting the LCS now, with those 2 teams getting bumped. The Padres come from behind, just like we gave you those stats about 100+ and 0. Yeah, the Dodgers were like that same thing for their franchise. San Diego rallies. I had to double check with you before we went live today. Be like, I know I saw this yesterday, but just to confirm, it was 18 innings. 1-0 Houston, and then also Philadelphia. They take down Atlanta earlier in that series, in between when we were off. The Rhys Hoskins home run where he Gronk spiked the bat was one of the coolest things ever. And they have this cool mix, Philadelphia, of you've got the home run hitters, and they also mixed in a little small ball. So it was like a cool mix of Philadelphia, what they're doing. I just, out of those 2 series, I'm a little annoyed by Dodger fan and Dodger manager Dave Roberts and everybody else. Like, yeah, we won 110+ games, but it really felt like a crapshoot in the postseason. We had to play that series. Shut up. Like, dude, you won 100. Don't blame the postseason format. You got to buy.
No. It's not like you got surprised with it, too.
No.
It's not like all of a sudden, like, okay, you ready? Here goes the wheel of how your playoffs are going to work this year. Oh, look, you knew what it was getting into it. Plan for it.
And you've been smacking around. And you've been smacking around San Diego. It's not like San Diego was a team that like you'd struggled against. You've been beating them up time in and time. People thought it was a done deal. You wanted San Diego. You just didn't get the job done again.
That just means that more of us have to see Blake Snell's fart face. Smell that? I smell fart. That's what he looks like. No, and the Padres are exciting too. So it's kind of fun though. That's that team that like you keep going. Oh, they're going to make it at some point. Well, here they are. I think this is going to be a fun series between the Phillies and the Padres. And I love now former future Yankee Bryce Harper as his mantra is, we're not losing this game. We're not losing, because that's what he said. They go to like, what did Bryce Harper whisper to you when you went by him? So we're not losing this game. We're not losing this effing game. We're not doing it. And I love that. Like, he's becoming a full-blown leader.
There's a lot of stuff about Philadelphia and San Diego, even though, as you mentioned, the 5 and 6 seeds in the postseason. To their credit, was just a few years ago, and I'm glad you brought up future Yankee Bryce Harper, because former future Yankee Bryce Harper, because going into that postseason, everyone knew San Diego and Philadelphia was going to be the most aggressive in that offseason. In similar fashion to the Mets at the most recent offseason, San Diego and Philadelphia said, we're going to spend money. We're going to go get Harper. We're going to go get Machado. And within the last 2 years, they both fired their managers. So they said, okay, we're going to be aggressive for players, and we're going to say if this manager's not working, we're going to bring somebody else in. It worked. because they're both 4 games away now from playing for a World Series and bringing that home. And those are 2 really good franchises they took down. If you're the Dodgers, you got the World Series in COVID. Mm-hmm. And some people will put an asterisk next to that just because that's what the world was back then. But we are approaching Atlanta Braves 90s territories for this Dodger franchise now. They have only 1 World Series for how stacked and how successful in the regular season that team has been. In Atlanta, Philadelphia's just better than you. But that was it. Met fans got to be pissed because they're like, man, we could have taken down Philly. That could have been us out there if we didn't blow that lead in September.
Yeah, and they did.
Spoiler alert, they did.
And by the way, the Astros haven't lost a game yet in the postseason.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So I guess that's where I'm at right now. I can't root for Ian Anderson, even though he was injured, with the Braves. I can't root for the Mets. I'm rooting for the Yankees still, obviously.
Can't root for the Dodgers. Tommy Kahnle's now out.
I don't know. I know it's not his fault, but for some reason I feel betrayed by big old TK.
Oh, ouch.
I liked him being a Yankee so bad. Like he was one of my favorite guys as a Yankee. And I know it's not his fault. Like he had to go where the money was and everything.
He got hurt too.
Yeah. But it's just something about I'm very bitter that he's not a Yankee. It's completely irrational. And I think he's a good dude, and I think he's a hell of a pitcher. I'm very bitter that he's not in pinstripes. Very bitter. I used to love when he'd come out all crazy and frigging throwing just gas.
Could be double bitter too because he probably would have been the arm they threw last night right over Holmes potentially.
Or they would have thrown him earlier, which would have pushed Loizaga back or something. Yeah, whatever. But no. So here we are. Now we're at a point where I need the Yankees to win 2 games over an inferior Cleveland Guardian Indians team, depending upon who your broadcast you're listening to, and to go to the Astros, who are right now a buzzsaw. So yeah, I feel good.
I'll let you take more sips of that Bloody Mary while you go through that. And I'll talk about our friends at Mohawk Honda. Don't forget, it is now October. It is the fall. Things are changing. The weather changes. And now you can change your vehicle. Shout out to Scott Moynihan. By God, I'll keep saying he's back. 30-plus years of experience in the automotive. Wow. Automobile industry. Automotive. Can we have that as a graphic? Yeah, push that Bloody Mary away from me. Right away. Mohawk Honda in Glenville, New York is the spot for you to find a new ride. The supply chain is still very different right now. I don't know how much longer we'll be talking about that being the situation, but take advantage of it right now. Mohawk Honda. Check them out on social media. The 2023s are on the way. That means great deals on 2022 rides are coming for you. Levack, you and I both love our crews over at Mohawk. We've got our wonderful vehicles sitting out here in the parking lot at the Hideaway. Now you can have that for yourself as well.
We parked a little too close to me. I'm gonna have to go talk to them.
We will be broadcasting
3-stage paint shop, my friend. It's
Mohawk Honda live on October 27th. So that's a Thursday. Mark that on your calendar. October 27th, we'll be back at Mohawk Honda. Levack will be coming back from a road trip, flying in. Who knows? Maybe it might be a virtual show. We'll see how it all comes together. But we hope that you're there buying a new ride. It's Mohawk
direct
Honda.
flight, so I should be okay.
Direct right to Mohawk, where that private
I don't have
airport
I have no stopover from Atlanta straight to Albany. Okay. So as long as I have a vehicle to get me to my where I need to be, I should be good. Like if it's always when you have a layover that you're like, okay, we're screwed. Just straight flight, straight shot.
Greg Johnson, Lindsey Harridan, Cam McKenna, Brian McKenna, MJ, VIP Man Morales, John and Service, everybody else.
I'll put myself in first class for that ride home. I have some points saved up. That's a shorter flight. I want to save that for a big flight.
Mohawk Honda, where they always
2-hour flight.
Go out of their way to please you. The kings of the automotive industry.
Ooh.
Automotive.
What kind of automotive you be driving? All right. That's there's that, I'm so happy. I'm just not happy.
Should I change the ticker to the automotive?
I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't do that.
All right,
I wouldn't do that. People are gonna start to worry about you. People are gonna worry about you, especially
Bloody Mary.
I think you maybe partied a little too hard. I think you went a little.
You might be right.
I think you went a little too hard yesterday. The last time the Syracuse Orange football team started a season 6-0, I believe, was 1987?
1987, Levack. That is correct. Yeah.
Which would make you minus 13 years or something like that. How old were you?
13 years. I was not born yet.
No, I'm saying how old? What year were you born?
89.
Yeah. So okay. So you're -2. I thought you were
-2.
I thought you were even younger. I was giving you hope.
Thank you.
Your hairline tells me it's not.
Oh man. I'm fired up, man. I got to that tailgate at 12:30, and it was one of the most packed tailgates I think I can remember. No, I'll go further than that. since I've actually been like in the tailgating scene as an adult, that's the most packed I've seen a tailgate in my lifetime. Awesome. And if you know the Syracuse area, you got to walk a little bit of a ways to get to the, almost called it the Carrier Dome, the JMA Wireless Dome.
Isn't it like the Ernie Banks Field or some Field of Dreams?
Ernie Davis Field,
Ernie
Legends
Davis.
Field. How dare you? How dare you? Not Ernie Banks from the Cubs. Let's play two. Syracuse overall is a school that is massive. If you told me Syracuse right
You know
now,
how many championships Ernie Banks won?
0, right?
Versus Ernie Davis?
Davis got one. 61 national champs, right? No, 61 Heisman, 59 national champs. Yeah,
Nerd.
6-0 for the first time in my lifetime. And if you told me they're going to be 2-4 in mid-October, I probably would have preseason nodded my head and said, yeah, that makes sense. 2-4 is good. You'll be fighting for the Pinstripe Bowl or the Fenway Bowl in the last week of the season, the regular season, and you hope to get 6 wins. The over-under going into the year was 4.5.
Did you bet that?
Thanks a lot, our friends in New York. You can't bet those.
Oh, right.
And all
Well,
that
that doesn't
other
mean you
stuff.
didn't bet it. It just means you didn't bet it legally.
I did not bet that. But now College Game Day wasn't there. And shout out to Bear Felica, by the way. Much love to Bear Felica, giving it back to people on the game day set, saying somebody gave him grief that he didn't want to be there. He's like, yeah, I didn't want to be here. I want to be in Syracuse. Go Orange. So, yeah, people even on this game day set said they wanted to be in Syracuse. Now, breaking down the actual game, did Syracuse benefit from NC State's quarterback, Devin Leary, who Peyton Manning called the number 1 pick in the upcoming NFL draft? Yeah, that helped. It also helped that Syracuse's defense didn't allow a touchdown. But it's 6-0. You're getting Clemson, noon, ABC next week. It is an awesome win for the program. Syracuse football is going in the right direction. And the expectations can change now. With no disrespect to the Pinstripe Bowl or the Fenway Bowl, why not talk about an ACC title game appearance, a New Year's Day bowl game in Florida like the Gator Bowl or the Duke's Mayo Bowl, or a college football playoff appearance? I wish it was 2 years from now where if you get in the top 12, you're playing for a chance for a national championship.
What don't you have to wait till next week to get that hyped up, or are you afraid that next week ends it? Because I think what next week is going to tell you who you really are.
I'm hyped up now. I would say that if the line was posted today, I would say it's 6.5. Now, some people are probably going to mock that line and say it's not 6.5, guys, against Clemson at Clemson and Death Valley.
I know the matchup predictor at ESPN.com gives you a 17% chance of winning.
You're telling me there's a chance. Does it give it? Is it 6.5? Does it give me a line there? I know a lot of other people think it's going to be closer to 13.5. I know that's a huge difference.
They haven't put it up
All
yet.
right, good.
And of course, we can't look at DraftKings because us betting on Syracuse at the Hideaway and Saratoga Lake Golf Club is going to shift the stature of the program. We're going to use it against them.
I would say this is the worst Clemson team of the last 10 years.
I don't know if they are. I just don't think they win pretty.
No Deshaun Watson, no Trevor Lawrence.
But they win ugly. They just win, but they win. They drag you into the deep end of the pool and they make you swim with them for an hour and people can't do it.
It's sort of like that boxer that wins the cards, right? You kind of lean on somebody, get a few jabs in, not a knockout punch, just kind of lean and hope it benefits you. That is definitely the Clemson team. That's a spot on comparison to what they are. I'm very excited about that game. It is a huge deal. Hey, what's up, man?
I think it's going to be so. It's a compliment to you guys that no time is set for your games except for next week. Like, because they're going to – Cuse might be a draw for the rest of the season, so they want to make sure they got you where you can do the most benefit. But here's what you're looking at for the rest of the year. At number 4, Clemson. Is that one of those games where as long as you play them well, you're happy? Is that one of those?
If they were 2-4, I would say that. If they were 3-3, yes. But if you beat Clemson, you are sitting atop the division of the ACC. You've got a chance for a conference championship. You've got a chance for a college football playoff. I would usually always say yes to that. I hope they beat Clemson. I want them to beat Clemson.
Well, obviously you want them to, but are you like, if they lose to Clemson in a very tight game, well fought game, are you walking away going, all right, I'm still okay with us? Because you're going to be unreasonable if they beat them.
Yes.
Like, if they beat them, you're going to start talking national championship.
I'm going to be really sad if they lose to Clemson. I will be more disappointed in this Clemson loss than even when they were a huge underdog and beat Clemson. The most recent Clemson game when Trevor Lawrence was the quarterback, you and I were texting throughout that entire game. They were 1 third down stop away from beating them that time in Death Valley. I know your point you're trying to get at. If you go 10-2 guys and you're Syracuse, that's a great season.
Right.
If 2 of your losses are to Clemson and I don't know, Florida State or Wake, right? That's a great season. I would be sad. I know what you're saying. You got to be reasonable. I would still be upset if Syracuse lost to Clemson.
All right, if I told you you're going to have one loss the rest of the year, at Clemson, home for Notre Dame, at Pitt, home for Florida State, at Wake Forest, at Boston College, you got to feel pretty good if it's only Clemson that beat you.
Yeah. I guess I look at that Notre Dame game, and I know Notre Dame lost to Stanford. That Notre Dame's a non-conference game. That'd be a lot more fun if it was a non-conference loss. I get your point. Clemson's the best team on the schedule. They're the team who should beat you more than likely. Yeah.
And they're going to.
I'm willing to do a wager.
With New York State, we'd have to drive across the state line. Well,
can we get in the car with Boston Dan one day and just takes us over to some line of a state and we'll just wager? That'll be the wager.
You know damn well he'll take a bet with you with Boston College.
That's coming later. It's coming later in November.
I mean, right. Boston College probably going to get 2 touchdowns.
Under BC Syracuse.
Right. So I don't know. Like I really like the way Cuse is playing. I like what they're doing. Was Hasselbeck on the call yesterday for the TV part of it because I was uninvited to
Tim or Matt?
Matt, the angrier of the two. No, Tim.
Okay.
Who the angry one? The one that went bald first, I think. The one whose wife was on Survivor.
Tim.
And then I don't hate having our Eagle friends here.
Yeah.
But, so if Tim Hasselbeck is pissing and moaning because Tucker scores with like under 2 minutes left. He wanted him to lay down and let the clock run out.
Why? Just run in the end. They're 15.
You have 2 scores.
Dude, stop it.
They're not doing anything.
God,
He's just like, no, that was the wrong play. And he's going on and he wouldn't let it go. And then even like even when they dropped the pass in the end zone and there was like 8 seconds left, he's like, there's still a chance. I'm like, you're just saying that because you feel like an a-hole for going off about that being the wrong call. Uh-oh. Watch out, don't hit that. Oh,
whoa!
We just found out we're going to steal a jacket.
Nice. Give that away at halftime.
We're going to steal a jacket. It's going to happen.
What if I told you that?
What if I told you
Syracuse football would be 6-0, and at that same point, Alabama and USC would both have losses?
I mean, I would tell you that the world of football is always changing, and these things happen. And I would find it funny that we went into this year with Goz begging for 6 wins. Begging to be bowl eligible. That's all he cared about in the entire world. He got his 6 wins. He should be doing a happy dance, and he's pissed off that he doesn't feel like his team is getting enough respect against Clemson. That's where he is. Okay, so don't like. Let's not talk about preseason expectations when yours were. I just hope to have an extra game. Now you're gonna have what would be a monster extra game, most likely, because you're gonna win at least. Maybe you lose 2, maybe you lose 3. But you're still going to have a way better year than anybody thought you would, and you're pissed off.
I've become SEC fan, haven't I? I always rip on the SEC fans for being irrational, and here I am. Great.
Yep, pretty much. Well, you've never really been rational. So, I mean, I know she didn't bring up, the University of Michigan.
Whoa. How about your Wolverines?
The worst part is, here's the deal. So anybody who doesn't know this already, Goz gets to vote for the Heisman. He lied and said he still works in real radio. So he gets to vote for the Heisman.
That's not what happened.
And
Nelson Lavinia is officially a Heisman. I got my email. Go ahead with your nonsense.
So I'm about to text him. You better have Blake Corum on your radar, and you better be able to get my boy at least an invite to the proceedings. And then when I saw Tucker score that touchdown late, I'm like, he's not going to talk to me about any running back. There's only one running back on his ticket right now, and that's it.
I'll say this about Blake Corum in comparison to Aiden Hutchinson from last year, and I know I got to be careful where our guy Chad is because I know he's a big Michigan fan as well. He'll give me grief about this too.
Remember, he had a bad night last night too because we're both Yankee fans.
Yeah.
He's going to be in a great mood today.
Hutchinson was more of a balanced player and had a big performance in a big game. Blake Corum, man, he is like a stock that's continuing to build.
He's a freaking battering ram.
He is. He's getting better every single game. That was a tough matchup, Penn State, too. Like, everything was going in favor of the Nittany Lions. A lot of people looked at Penn State and thought, okay, Michigan's played a lot of cupcakes.
Oh, you mean before the game?
Before the game.
Oh,
yeah,
I was going to say, what the hell game were you watching?
Yeah, before the game, people were giving Penn State love. And even halfway through that game, right, it's like 17-14. Penn State's hanging around. Michigan had those beasts. They were tougher. They had more talent. Harbaugh got a lot of credit early in his career about recruiting. And a lot of those recruits with the Netflix and chill and climbing the Now those guys are there on that Michigan roster,
Right.
and they are so much better. That is a huge win for Michigan, and I think that victory alone should put the Wolverines in the conversation as a top 3 team right now in college football.
You just brought up a good point too. It's panning out now. The work, the recruiting, like you're seeing why you hired Harbaugh. So all the Michigan fans were like, "You got to fire him! You got to fire him! You got to fire him!" All those like first 3-4 years. Shut the f- up. Give things a chance to grow. Like it wasn't like he was inheriting Lloyd Carr's Michigan where they ran similar things or whatever. You know what I mean? He came in and brought it back from being. They tried to alter it already. Blake Corum has 666 rushing yards against the Big Ten right now.
666.
Yes, you said the beast. The number of the beast. This kid is fun. He's averaging 5.9 yards. And he's only 5'8". So I think it's comparable.
Anywhere's number 2, like Charles Woodson.
Yep. Well, and the coolest thing about Blake Corum is there's going to be people who are going to who like to be counter to whatever conventional wisdom is, and they're going to go, well, yeah, but you see it. Donovan Edwards is that home run hitter. Yeah, you know why Donovan Edwards can be a home run hitter because by the time he gets out there and starts running, everyone's sore from Corum just ramming them. That kid's a beast. Is he at least in contention for your top 5 for the Heisman?
Yes. After a performance like that, he absolutely is. He's a really good player because of the running back position in college football this season, because of what he's done and the importance of his teammates. Yes, he is one of the best players in the country and best running back in the country. Why not? I'm trying to think of another person who's popping in my head right now. I think he's the best running back in the country. I know Robinson gets a lot of love from Texas, but Corum has been better for the more important games, and Michigan has more important ones on the way, though.
71 yards against UConn, 243 against Maryland, 133 against Iowa, 124 against Indiana, and then 166 against that vaunted Penn State rush defense. That was what I was hearing in the morning. I'm listening to all these experts tell me that you can't run the ball against Penn State, and that's why Michigan's in big trouble today. And then all of a sudden, I just see Corum these little shift moves where a 2-yard run becomes a 6-yard run, and then he starts battering ramming, and then Edwards gets in and breaks one, and even McCarthy started running a little bit. It was a fun game. I enjoyed it.
I got something for you, Levack, here. I got a top 5, a new top 5 that I think you're going to enjoy. This is my new top 5 in the college football world. The new top 5 for Goz, 5-1. So my poll will come out tomorrow, but I will give you the new top 5 in college football. The 5th best team right now in college football is the Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State is now 5 because Ohio State's best win on the season is Notre Dame. Ohio State hasn't played anybody. Ohio State at one point this season should talk about number 1. Ohio State has done nothing, and I know they run up the score against everybody, but Wisconsin, Rutgers, bad Michigan State, Toledo, Arkansas State. At this point, mid-October, Ohio State has not done enough to show that they're a better team than where they stand right now. So I have Ohio State at 5, Clemson at 4. Clemson just beat NC State 2 weeks ago. They beat Florida State. Clemson should still be the number 4 team in the country. So I've got them at 4. You'll like this. Your Michigan Wolverines are the number 3 team in the country.
I feel like you should be higher.
They beat Ohio State last year. They have more successful wins so far this year, even though I mentioned the cupcakes, but that win against Penn State's more impressive than anything Ohio State's done this season. So Michigan now deserves to be at 3. Georgia at number 2. The defending national champions beat Oregon earlier in the season. The Bulldog defense 55-0 of Vanderbilt. Thank you for the cover. I took the under. Appreciate that. Georgia's at number 2. I truly believe the new number 1 team in college football, when the AP poll comes out later today, should be the Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee should be the number 1 team in the country. I know that Alabama had a chance to win. Why is Nick Saban forcing a teenager to kick a 50-yard field goal in front of 100,000 people on the road? They probably needed
a better question. How soon can we get someone back here? Because on NFL Sunday, I look up and the TV back here has competitive wall climbing.
We will fix that if you're coming to the Hideaway. Tennessee is the number 1 team in the country.
No, every other TV in the building is good.
Except this one.
It's this one back here that has competitive with some dude who's wearing a mask while he climbs a wall. Because first of all, you're not within 5 feet of anyone. You're up a wall. You're like 20 feet up a wall, Spider-Man. And you're not a Spider-Man mask. They're all wearing masks. They're all like,
Does this show
they're
what
all Asian dudes wearing masks.
ESPN invests on those Sundays in bowling and rock climbing? Just gets out of the way.
Here's the thing, what's the purpose in rock climbing? Because for me, it would be to get the F away from people. So why would I need to take extra precautions? I'm already climbing a wall to get away from you. Like, why do I have to wear a mask? I already hate people. Oh, by the way, you just got an invite. Mike Corda, owner of the Empire. Gosh, UFC fights next Saturday afternoon at his house.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, and then she's also invited you to NFL Sunday, too.
Whoa, Mike.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So enjoy yourself over there. Go hang out with that sack of human excrement.
Wait a second. Usually he invites you and I.
Oh, no. I'm not invited because I'll be in Columbus.
Oh, okay.
No,
yeah, I'll have one more. Can we get... I was going to ask Tina for the remote. Yeah, What do you think if Tennessee is the number one team in the country?
No, it's Michigan's number one team.
Okay, so you think Michigan can beat Tennessee straight up?
I think it got to at least be number two. Because I don't think anybody plays football the way they play football right now. You remember they remind me of Georgia. They've got that battering front four on defense to get after your quarterback all game long. Secondary's coming along. The only thing they haven't done yet is create turnovers, but they definitely swat the ball down. And then they can run the football like nobody else. J.J. McCarthy's getting better every week as a quarterback. I think they could very well be like at least be in the championship this year.
Ooh, I'd see a Georgia-Michigan title game, a little revenge game. Make that play out a certain way. If I had to pick Michigan or Ohio State right now, I would still take the Wolverines over Ohio State, and just because Ohio State hasn't played anybody. But we got a lot of fun college football left to be played this season. Game days in UCLA this week. The Bruins are undefeated. They're making a play for the Pac-12. Syracuse is undefeated. They should be as high as 13 or 14 when the AP poll comes out today. So they're up that high. It's been a really fun year of college football, and hopefully some more good games to come on the way.
Yes, hopefully more. My top five: Michigan, and Michigan. So I think that's it. And like seventh, I'll put Syracuse just because I'm a nice person. So
do you think this reference people still get anymore? Dylon, and Dylon. Do people get that reference anymore? Or is that way too dated now?
Oh, I don't. I think most
the Chappelle Show, right? The best rapper alive.
We're live here at the Hideaway. And if you're watching us either on the Hideaway's Facebook or Techies Fire and Water Restoration's Facebook page. And Techies Fire and Water Restoration, amazing company. Don't let the fact that their owner's a dickhead get in the way. What? Did I say something?
Mike invited me to the fights. I think he's okay, guy.
Like I said, Techies Fire. Jer, the GM, amazing. Don and Jay and Mike and the crew, Paulie, all great people. The owner, he's a dick. But aside from that, it's amazing how someone so evil could make such a beautiful company. You know,
is this an endorsement read, by the way?
Sausage fingers and his just hatred of anything wonderful. Is just. Can you have Chris or somebody switch that to football, please, when you get a chance? No. I know you can't. I wouldn't put that on you. I wouldn't put that evil on you.
I thought she just said no. It's a rock climbing.
She goes, I can't. I'm
gonna watch that.
Yeah, no. So
yes, finish your endorsement. For Techies, please.
Yeah. So Techies Fire and Water Restoration and Construction.
Yep.
So our guys will come in and they'll work with your insurance company and they'll get all the damage out. They'll build it back, best way back to normal. Sometimes even better than normal, and that's because sometimes the apple does fall far from the tree. Like Mike's beautiful daughter and Techies Fire and Water Restoration. Mike, evil, terrible, ugly person, inside and out. Techies, beautiful, wonderful place. Yes. So have fun at Mike's house while I'm in Columbus doing his dirty work. Have fun there.
All right, Mike, I'll text you your address.
I'll put it on the thing right now. Oh, he goes, somebody's salty. The Lion King. Listen, I'm sorry. Again, Techies, amazing. TEFirewater.com. Your best way back to normal. You as a homeowner.
Yes.
You have that leaky thing right off of your hot water tank.
That's right.
Right? That would have given me, I've been up at night, making sure that, like, going down and check and see what's right. First time Jer came through my house and made sure to check for water damage and fix it. I was like, wow, there's a company that just makes everything better. That's great. I love that. I don't have to worry anymore. And then there's Mike. So he's
that last one.
I know. He realizes that goes on the sites, right? Like,
no, I don't
think
he
do that.
No,
just
delete that comment.
Yeah. Dumbass.
A rare delete comment.
I will put it. I will if he does that again. I will put it out there.
Thank you to Tim, by the way, who's changing our rock climbing.
Mike's Mike's address is Muddy's Tavern. He lives at Muddy's Tavern. That's where he lives. He's there all the time. Stop in and say hello. He wouldn't be welcome at a fine establishment like the Hideaway. I'll tell you that.
No.
He wouldn't be welcome here.
Do you want to talk New York NFL teams? An interesting week again here for the New York football squad. We're here for.
No, I'm busy being salty.
We've got 2 1:00 games. Remember, stop it. Just trying to put on hilarious channels. Oh, thanks, dude. Appreciate you.
What are we talking about now?
We're talking about the NFL teams. We have 2 1:00 games. That's why we're here at the Hideaway today, plus the 4:30 game Bills Chiefs later on. We can start with the 1:00 games, though, if you would like. We're not doing our predictions yet. I think we're just going to talk about the New York teams, then dive into it. What do we feel overall for the week of the New York teams?
I feel very good. I said he lived at Muddy's. 40 Lincoln Ave. How do I feel about the New York teams? Listen, again, Giants love what they're doing. Their fan base, bunch of assholes. Mike's a Giants fan. If anybody can't pick up on the sarcasm, Mike and I are in a tiff. We're in a little brotherly quarrel at the moment. He's kind of a dick, if I'm being real. Thank God there's no kids back here.
Jets get the Packers at 1:00. Ravens get the Giants, and we'll get to the Bills Chiefs in a little bit. The Giants, I think, have a harder matchup than the Jets do this week. That Raven team's won the game against Cincinnati.
It comes down to logic, right?
Yep.
Do you believe that a team has an advantage against a guy who was their defensive coordinator for a long period of time, or a guy has an advantage over a team that he was their defensive coordinator for a long period of time?
Did you say the same thing?
No. Who has the advantage? The defensive coordinator because he was part of that team, or the team because they know that defensive coordinator?
Definitely the defensive coordinator, I would say, because he sees the players, he evaluates, he watched film, all that stuff. I would say the coach over the players in the matchup. Do you disagree with that?
I think it depends on the situation, and I think that, like you said, we're going to do picks. I'll break some of this down, maybe more in picks, but what in the world can Harbaugh, Jackson, and the team do that Wink Martindale wouldn't be prepared for? So when he was there, the biggest weakness was they didn't have a wide receiver that could perform outside the numbers. So you didn't know if Lamar Jackson could throw outside the numbers. Since then, they bring in Bateman, and Hollywood Brown was a great down the field threat, but Mark Andrews across the middle, that's your weapon. That's the guy who's going to make a difference for you. Well, Bateman's hurt. He's out this week. Duvernay is hit or miss in this offense. So if he ever figured out how to stop Lamar Jackson, that's it. Bateman's out. You don't have the outside the numbers threats. If they had things they didn't have when he was there, I would side maybe with the team. But the fact that they don't have anything different, I think Wink Martindale is going to be able to put things in place that they're not going to be ready for.
Is this a potential game where Wink Martindale puts his name in the discussion for a head coach in the NFL in 2023?
Remember, he interviewed with the Giants when they hired Judge.
Yes.
So, no, I think look, I think there's a lot of these times that we do this where we almost force people into these roles up that they don't belong in. You know what I mean? Like why can't he just be the best defense coordinator that in the league? And I don't know. I'm not saying he is that, but just because you're a damn good defense coordinator doesn't make you a great head coach. Like Brian Daboll has shown us, because of the play calling, because of the working his way up, because of the things he did, he belongs in that role. I don't know. I mean, maybe Wink Martindale, maybe not. But I think what you do is continue to take this Giants team from where no one thought it would be and move it up. Patrick Graham was great. I thought Patrick Graham was amazing. And he's doing a great job with the Raiders defense, believe it or not, even though they're 1-4. He's better. The players like him more. He puts that speed kills aspect into that defense, and they're having a blast.
It goes back to the conversation we just had about college football. There's actually a really good comparison here between what we talked about with Syracuse and Clemson next week. Robert Anaya, sort of like the Martindale role here, and the Jets and the Giants kind of fit the same storyline going into the game. If preseason we looked at the matchup and said the Giants are playing the Ravens and the Jets are playing the Packers, and you told Jet fans, hey, you're going to lose to Green Bay, and you told Giant fans, hey, you're losing to Baltimore, both fan bases probably would have shrugged their shoulders and thought, yeah, that makes sense. 2 Super Bowl contending teams versus 2 teams that are trying to get back into contention. Those would be L's in the preseason, and you'd accept that. So, look, if the Jets and Giants both lose today, the fan bases could be like, all right, we're not as good as those teams. However, you beat one of these teams today. the expectations start to change. It already is changing for New York. After beating Green Bay in London last week, the conversation shifted from, although Kimberly Martin on ESPN went viral with her dumbass take about the Giants should stop winning. Anyways, 2 million views and you deserve to get ripped apart on whatever show she was on. First Take, Get Up with Greeny. The expectations have changed already for New York, which is great to say if you're a Giant fan. Jet fan is right there. That was a nice win against Miami, although nationally, people think they beat a third-string quarterback. All that stuff can fit there. Now, we shift that conversation to Buffalo. You're the favorite against Patrick Mahomes at home for the first time ever. And that Bill roster, and I've been saying this for about probably 10-plus shows here at the Hideaway about the Bills roster, that team is built to beat the Chiefs. Not the Bengals, not the Titans, not the whatever else. That team was said, we have one goal in mind, beat Patrick Mahomes. The roster is built to beat Mahomes. We'll find out if they can do it. In 13 seconds, that cloud might still be sitting over Bills fans and Bills players from that heartbreaking loss in the playoffs last season.
Giants, I think, could win today. Jets could win, but if you do, you're going to show me something because right now, you said it. You beat a third-string quarterback. You beat whatever the hell the quarterback situation is in Pittsburgh, and Jacoby Brissett. Those are your three guys you've beaten. You got slapped around a little bit by Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. Can you go out there and beat this Green Bay team? Also, even if you beat this Green Bay team, guys like me are going to look at it and go, has this team given up on Aaron Rodgers? Because I don't think anyone likes him. I think he went from a team of guys who were like, listen, we'll tolerate your bull crap because it's going to give us a chance to win a Super Bowl, to a group of guys going, Devontae Adams would have rather gone to Vegas and be 1-4 and shove cameramen than put up with your bullshit. So, I think that's going on there. So there's a chance the Jets get the win that way. But as far as the Bills go, you're absolutely right. You almost have to win this game today. This is a have to win because 2 years straight, this team has bounced you in the playoffs. 2 years straight, you've been lauded as the next coming, and 2 years straight they've proven ain't next yet. Well, next only lasts so long, so you got to get out there. You got to get this game done. You got to prove you can win it. It's only a regular season game, but it could mean a lot more to them as a victory than anybody else. It would mean to as a loss. So I think it's a big week for all three New York teams. All three can prove that they are what you thought they were or better.
Let's go. Let's talk about some picks. Let's give some predictions.
Right.
Let's talk about it. But before we do, Lily and David Fine Jewelers, our friends. Route 50, the Shops of Wilton, is where you go to celebrate their 10th anniversary special going on right now. 10 years of Lily and David Fine Jewelers. And to celebrate the great occasion, up to 60% off on certain jewelry in store. Check out that orange mark, that yellow mark. Their Facebook page is the best spot to find out about the deals going on throughout the entire month of October. Lily and David Fine Jewelers, family owned and operated business. Shout out to Alyssa, David, and the entire crew there. On our visual side, here it comes. There's the wedding band flash right there. Years ago, I stopped at a Lily and David Fine Jewelers, and they help me through the process of buying the engagement ring. They can do the same for you. And guys, especially with November and December right around the corner, maybe you're celebrating that fall wedding. Maybe you just want to get the early jump on the holiday gift. This is the best time to do it. You stop in. You probably don't know exactly what you're buying. Work with the great people who have done it for now a decade plus at Lily and David Fine Jewelers. They will help you. They helped me sweating, getting nervous, not exactly knowing what I'm doing. If they can help me, they can definitely help you find what you're looking for in your budget and to find a piece of jewelry you're going to continue to get compliments on for years to come. It is Lily and David Fine Jewelers, Route 50, the Shops of Wilton. 60% off, 10-year anniversary celebration. We stopped it. Tell them you heard about it from Levack and Goz right here on Goz in the Media.
Absolutely.
Last week, if you go back and listen to our episode, we were both very confident in a lot of our picks. You were so confident. You had 7 locks.
Yeah.
I had 4 locks. We were about as mediocre as you can possibly get. You posted a 6-8 record. I posted a 7-7 record. Wires, they're not 16 games. Remember, we missed the Thursday night and the London game. I posted a 2-2 record on locks. 3-4. Let's get above 500 again. Let's stop being average. Either we're going to be really good or really bad. We cannot be average.
I'm going to be really good, I think, is what I'm going to go for. At least that's going to be my goal here today. But you want to do the numbers, and
let's do it. Let's lead off again. We save the New York teams for the end. Let's open in the 1 o'clock window. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers, a 10-point underdog at home, over under 46 in this game.
This is one of those ones where I don't like the number. The number's a little bigger than what I would like it to be, but I just have zero faith in Pittsburgh at this moment. I think this is a down year for the Steelers. Even though Little Hands is out there with his baby hands and a whopper trying to throw the football, I just don't think it's going to be enough. I'll take Tampa. I'll lay the points. I think this game opened at I think Tampa's like a 7.5, 8-point favorite. What do you say? They're 10 now?
10.
Yeah, I think that the money's following them. Give me Tampa. I'll lay the 10.
Someone called Doug Kazarian at ESPN or Darren Ravel at the Action Network and find this stat for me. Pass it along at Tom Goz, TOMGOZ, because that number just hit 10, as you mentioned. I'm moving to the line. GOZZ. Did I say GOZ?
Yeah, you tried to give credit to the other dude who stole your name.
God, I want that Twitter handle so bad. When was the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers in back-to-back weeks have been double-digit dogs? It's got to be a long time to be double-digit.
Probably when Roethlisberger was hurt. Probably go back there, and even then, you're probably not right. I mean,
the Pittsburgh Steelers is double. I'm with Tampa again. Again, for those keeping track at home, I am now officially 0 for 5 on picking Tampa Bay this season. Even last week when I picked the Buccaneers to cover against the Falcons, that weird roughing the passer call did not work out in favor. 0 for 5 picking the Bucs, my team, rocking the hoodie here on the visual side. Pittsburgh's really bad. I will take Tampa. Come on, Bucs. One time we got a cash one this season.
You ever read Shakespeare?
Yes.
By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. Keep an eye on that big red pickup over there. I got a feeling somebody annoying driving it. Hi, guys. All right, so we're both on Tampa?
Yes.
All right.
Let's move on to the 49ers taking on the Falcons. A 1 o'clock kickoff. The 49ers coming to the East Coast. Falcons 4-point dogs at home, over under 46. Again, our lines.
4 points?
4 points. Falcons underdogs.
Wow.
Again, DraftKings giving us these lines right up to date. Promo code 518.
That 4 makes me nervous. That opened at 5.5. I think Atlanta can keep this thing close. I'll take the Falcons plus the points. Something about that line has got me nervous. Even the Falcons. I was going to take the Niners at 5, but 4. I think there's a decent amount of money falling to the Niners, and I don't think it's coming from the public. Give me the Falcons plus the 4.
If this was college, I'd feel really good about Atlanta because last week they're going to have that rah-rah, we got robbed, it's us against the world. They go into a lot of more cliche stuff. They have that feeling against the Tampa game, but they have to go down and win the game. San Francisco is getting back to where we thought they would be earlier in this season. I'll still stick by that the team is actually better with Garoppolo under center than they would have been this season with Trey Lance. They proved that again today. I'll take San Francisco with all 4 of those points on the road with a weird kickoff for a West Coast team.
We're live here at the Hideaway, rolling through our picks right now. Not great last week, extremely mediocre. Looking for the bounce back.
Minnesota takes on Miami. 3.5-point underdogs to the Dolphins at home, over under 45.
So if I'm taking the Vikings, I got to lay 3.5.
That's right.
I'll take the Vikings. I don't think I knew it was him. I don't think that I still don't think the Dolphins are that good of a team. I think they're good. I don't think they're great. So when I get a chance to take the Vikings, who I think are a very good team, and it's less than a touchdown, I'm in. I'll take them. Give me the Vikings.
I'd like to go back and look at my stats. I mentioned the Buccaneers. I've been whiffing on constantly. Minnesota's got to be in this mix too. Even though they're winning games, they are the top team now in the NFC North. Betting on Minnesota has been a lot more difficult than I realized. And just Miami with Tua still. I'm going to talk myself into Minnesota. Again, I talk myself into the Vikings. I will take Minnesota with 3.5 points.
Okay.
Traveling to Florida, I will take the Vikings in that matchup.
Cleo missed us.
Oh, yay. Bengals Saints, Levack.
By the way, I'm going against the Eagles this week.
Oh, no.
Going against the Eagles.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bengals Saints.
She said, I'm your friend. It looked like FU, but it was
3-point dogs at home, over under 42.5 in this one.
Saints. Here's the deal with the Saints. I like them. I like the Saints a lot this week, as a matter of fact. So I'm getting 3 points in New Orleans.
3 points at home.
I'm going to go ahead and lock in the Saints. I think the Saints will actually win this game outright, but if I get a field goal, the Bengals are the king of the 3-point game. Give me the Saints as my first lock of the weekend. Saints plus 3. Bungles, sorry about it. Taysom Hill, the Swiss Army knife, is going to get a touchdown today.
Check the tapes. I believe this is only the 3rd time all season that Levack and I have a similar lock on our predictions. I also love the Saints. Give me the Saints as a lock as well. Watching New Orleans last week in that match against Seattle, and Seattle I really liked last week as well. They were my lock. Throughout the game, Taysom Hill took over. If that's the offense that New Orleans is going to run with Taysom Hill, and they try to find a little bit more production on that defense, they can get back in contention as a playoff team. And I know they're dealing with injuries. I know Thomas is out for this game. Olave's out. Everything's telling you to take Cincinnati. I'm rocking New Orleans. I love the pick. It is a lock for me. Our guy Mac is very pumped about that.
Diabetes. Saints out top 3 receivers. I don't think it matters. I think they've got 2 of the most versatile players in that backfield at any given time with Kamara and with Taysom Hill. So they'll get done.
Ooh, here's a fun take. I know DraftKings hasn't offered this yet. At over/under 9.5 touches for Taysom Hill today.
Ooh, under, but by a half.
Oh, I was going to take 10. All right, Patriots-Browns, 3-point favorites at home. Cleveland is the favorite at home. Over/under in this one, 43.5.
I hate this game.
Oh, man, we're 2 for 2 in a row. Second time in a row we have the same feeling about a game.
I hate this game. Too much talent on Cleveland for them to lose to the Patriots. But the Patriots have Darth Hoodie. Darth Hoodie destroys rookie head coaches, rookie quarterbacks, all those things. I know that's not what we're dealing with in Cleveland, but Jacoby Brissett might as well be a rookie quarterback because who knows him better than Darth Hoodie? I'll begrudgingly. I'm going to take the. I love Clea. She's the best. I'm begrudgingly going to take New England, but I don't feel great about it.
I hate all this. 15 years? It seems like Belichick, for some bizarre reason, his former team he used to coach, the Cleveland Browns, he's been terrible against. There have been years in the past, and it was Eric Mangini smashed the Patriots, and for whatever reason, it's Miami and Cleveland that Belichick historically has struggled against. This
I don't know
3
put
points
this anymore. Here, put that in your head.
This 3 points stinks. I took the Browns last week, and the Chargers.
You take the Browns to the Super Bowl?
No, I'm not going.
Oh. I did this morning.
I will take the Patriots, even with a third string. No.
Audible. Hot route. Omaha.
I'm taking Cleveland. Cleveland.
Okay.
Mark that down. I know when I go back and recap the picks.
Corey's writing it down right now.
Cleveland. Goz took Cleveland in this game.
Hey, look, Corey, when you show up, you can watch the TV legally.
Nick Chubb and Myles Garrett are the best players on the field. That's what I'm going to decide with. Cleveland wins this game. Don't blow it, Cleveland.
All right.
Jaguars, Colts. 2-point favorites at home, over under 41.5 in this one.
I like the Jags here. I think the Jags are on the up. I think you're seeing growing pains from them. I think Goz is going to start next week's show with, I can't believe how good Trevor Lawrence is. So give me the Jags. Again, I think the Jags are going to ultimately end up taking down that division. And I think this is one of the games that's going to be why they did it.
I'm struggling to find reasons not to pick Jacksonville in this game. Jonathan Taylor's been ruled out. Update your fantasy football teams. Matt Ryan is old and terrible.
He's very old.
Pittman still doesn't seem like the receiver he needs to be. I know he's been dealing with some injuries. I have no reason to pick the Colts for this game. So because I just constantly have nothing, I have to take Jacksonville. I have to. They have better players on the field in this matchup. I get it. They're the home team in a divisional game, so you're likely to be favored. Jacksonville makes more sense in this game, and we'll find out what I say about Trevor Lawrence next week, like you said.
Yes, next week, head of the Trevor Lawrence fan club, Tom Gozlowski, the third.
Roman Reigns acknowledged me when Trevor Lawrence plays well, guys. Say how good I am. All right, we're into the 4 o'clock window again. We'll get back.
Actually, just what time is it? 12:28, October 16th, 2022. In years to come, we're going to realize that Trevor Lawrence is more like Russell Wilson than anyone else we've ever seen. He is a socially awkward, sheltered individual who doesn't know how to act. And as he figures out that doesn't matter, he's going to be okay. But as he gets back into trying to, Lawrence bought 3,000, must fit in, befriend 2 people. And, he doesn't, it's screwing him up. It's not his programming.
I don't know what to do with that, Jake, because I think it's more accurate than I realized, and I don't know if I'd want to hang out with Trevor Lawrence.
There's no way you'd enjoy it.
I'm gonna
There's
clip
no
that.
way.
That might be something we go back to for a long time. That's good there. Rams, Panthers leads off the 4 o'clock window. Panthers no longer have Matt Rule as their head coach. They are a 9.5-point underdog on the road. Over under 41.5.
Stinker. What a stinker. What a stinky game. So this is one of those situations. If you're going to take the Panthers, it's because you believe the problem was Matt Rule. You believe that everything else is kind of okay. You believe that the 2-0 PJ Walker is going to get to go like 3-0 or at least keep it close. I don't believe any of those things. I think this is one of those games where the Rams smell blood in the water, know they got to beat up on weaker teams until they figure out what's wrong with them. This is a weaker team. This is the perfect opportunity to win by 16, 20, 55 points. So give me the Rams. I'll lay the points.
Second time I've done this in NFL picks this week. If this was college, I'd have a whole different take on this because this season, Arizona State, Herm Edwards, your guy gets canned. Arizona State plays better without him.
Well,
Nebraska.
They were actually sabotaging him.
Yeah.
As much as Herm and I are not okay, he got sabotaged.
It feels nobody's denied the report, which is also frightening.
Right. You just stop talking about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's happened. Okay, we're not going to push back. Mickey Joseph in Nebraska. Nebraska's
It's
played
like
better.
when I report that Mike Corda is going to serve at Muddy's in traditional Muddy's bartender attire. There's no one who can dispute that because it's true.
And Georgia Tech as
It's a
well.
lingerie bar.
This game, you said the word, it stinks. I'm taking Carolina because I know the money's going on the Rams. I know everybody thinks it's going to be a blowout. Maybe Matt Rule really is the issue. Not only am I going to take Carolina to cover, that is a lock for me this week.
Ooh.
Rams win, Carolina covers. This will be like the surprise. I'd actually, you know what? I'll push you to, I'm doing a double lock here. First half Panthers. I don't know the number. So that way, it actually can't be
It's
a
got to
lock.
be like 5 or
I would guess it's 5. I don't have it up right now. I don't want to move it. So it's off. You know what? No, just the Panthers to lock. That's my fault. I should have had the first half ready. I got too excited during this. It's just the Panthers. Somebody look it up for me. I don't want to take the screen off.
I've been in a shit mood lately. Thank you for that.
Cardinals.
You know what? I'll lock that in. Wait, it doesn't exist. I won't lock it in.
Someone do it for me. Cardinals, Seahawks. Seahawks are a 2.5-point underdog at home. Over under 50.5 in this one.
This has legitimately been one of those games that I've like, there's no way this happens. There's no way this happens. I like the Seahawks in this game. Just south of a lock, though. Not enough to make it a lock because I've waffled on it so much. I think the Seahawks are the better coached team. I think they can match up with Arizona athletically. So I think the Seahawks, even though Geno Smith cooking, I think the Seahawks are good enough to win this game.
This game is all about Kenneth Walker III, the former Michigan State
Kenny
Spartan.
Skywalker.
Kenny Skywalker.
Please.
Rashad Penny broke his
Well, I'm a
leg.
big fan.
He's out for the season. Can the rookie from Michigan State be that good? I'll take Arizona because I know Walker had a nice run last week. I liked the Seahawks last week, so I'm bitter. I will take Arizona. The new Call of Duty may or may not have come out. That's the rumor on the internet. I don't know how you download games anymore. And we know Kyler Murray loves Call of Duty, and he might be distracted and he's not watching film.
He said duty.
But I will take the Cardinals because I doubt the rookie in the backfield.
Bird duty.
That's a small 4 o'clock window this week. So we're already into the 8 o'clock game. Cowboys, Eagles. If you just tuned in, Levack gave a nice hint of where he's leaning towards in this game. The number is 6.5, by the way. The Eagles at home, over under 42.
Oh, yeah. So here's the deal, right? This is my favorite thing I've heard recently. The only reason Dallas is winning is their defensive front is so nasty, they just destroy everybody. Okay.
You got me.
Yeah. Oh, no. And,
Walter White style, Breaking Bad. Yeah, man.
Micah Parsons is a little banged up. Yes. This is the best offensive line in football at this moment. Yes, for Philadelphia. I think Dallas can do enough on offense. I think Dallas can do enough on defense. I think 6.5 points is way too much. I think at best, Philly lucks out and wins this thing in a last-second field goal. But I think Dallas wins this game, takes away the last unbeaten team in the NFL, lock in the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy's Cowboys.
Whoa.
Plus 6.5 for me is my second lock of the day.
I don't feel as confident with you in the Cowboys covering. It's not a lock for me. This feels like another situation where Philly wins on a game-winning field goal.
Did you turn off the TV?
I did not. I don't even know where the remote is.
It's right there.
Oh,
Corey,
Corey,
did it.
you can hear Corey. Here you go. Figuring that out.
It's probably going
first.
to turn
Thank
off
you.
like 6 other TVs.
I will take the Cowboys to cover.
No, I don't even know if that'll turn it on. I would leave it alone.
Cowboys to cover, Philly to win. The under is jumping out to me, though, because if Jalen Hurts gets slowed down by that really good Cowboy defense, is Jalen Hurts good enough to find A.J. Brown and his receivers to win the game? Can this be a Jalen Hurts 270, 300-yard game through the air to win it? That's hard for me to believe so far this season. And you mentioned Cooper Rush. Can Cooper Rush complete more than 20 passes in a game for Dallas to win? Also hard for me to believe.
Yeah, all he's got to do is turn left, complete to Zeke, turn right, complete to Tony Pollard. That's all he's got to do.
If that's the case, under is the play. Philly wins, Dallas covers. In our Monday night football game, before we get to the New York teams, the Broncos taking on the Chargers. The Chargers,
just get my straw.
4.5-point favorites. The Chargers in LA, sort of a home field advantage. 45.5, the number in the AFC West battle.
Oh, man. How about this? How about Denver beats the Chargers?
Whoa, wait a second. Last week we heard you take the Cardinals and the Titans as a lock 2-0. You've trashed Denver all season long.
Garbage.
You are taking the Broncos. Mr. Unlimited becomes Mr. Unlimited for you this week. A money line Bronco win.
How many points am I getting? 4.5?
4.5. It's plus 190 on the money line.
I'm going to take the points because they'll ugly this game up. Denver's defense is really, really good. Denver's running game somehow is okay, even with the injuries and the nonsense. Chargers are the most overrated team in football.
More than the Broncos.
Broncos are crap. But everybody thinks the Chargers are going to win the Super Bowl. They're not going to do jack squat. And Denver's going to prove it this week. Denver will at least drag this thing into the mud and make it an ugly. One of two things happens. Denver wins a game with Russ cooking like you wouldn't expect it at this point, or this game is so ugly you're like you keep looking at your calendar going, is this Thursday Night Football? So give me 4.5 points. Lock in the Denver Broncos over the Chargers.
Man, you and I have a total different. We've had a lot of games we read the same. This one we're totally off on. If Los Angeles gets up 10-0. If Los Angeles gets up 14-0 fast, I don't know how Denver ever makes comebacks, ever. Hell, if LA gets up 7-0, how is Denver going to come back? Maybe that's too much. All right, 10-0.
It says right here, if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Or as Armin Williams used to say, if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
I'll still take the Chargers, although those phrases are awesome. I'll take the Charger offense. They're better than Denver's. They can outscore them. It should be as simple and easy as that for the take on that game. All right, let's go to the New York teams. We mentioned the Ravens and the Giants. We'll give you the number on that. It is now at 5.5. The Giants at MetLife Stadium, a 5.5-point underdog at home. Over-under is 46 in this game.
This one scares me a little bit because I feel like the public's starting to jump in on the G-men, which I would rather they weren't. If they weren't, I'd feel better about it all. But the bottom line is I really think that it comes down to Wink Martindale knows this Ravens offense. They were almost lucky to get away with a victory last week. I'm going to take the Giants and the points.
Ooh. Oh, man. Do you get like this? I don't know if I've asked you this in a really long time. Do you get bitter with teams that you felt confident with the week before not covering the next week? You know what I mean by that? Like,
depends how it happens. If it's completely their fault, sometimes, yeah, we'll hold it against them.
That's how I feel about Baltimore. I felt so good about that game. It wasn't even a lock, but Baltimore played better than Cincinnati. Some, again, weird coaching decisions by the Ravens. Just decided on a certain thing. Baltimore is better than New York. And you want to talk about offense. Lamar Jackson in this Baltimore offense.
You think Lamar Jackson is better than Daniel Jones?
Yes, I do. I do think that. Baltimore, in a similar take to that Bronco-Charger game, if they get up by double digits, how is New York going to come back? I want to take the Giants with the points. So, no, I'm not doing it. Baltimore, knock it off, okay? If you don't cover this week, I might cash in my ticket, which I guess I can't do about a Super Bowl contender. I will take the Ravens in this one with all 5.5 points. The Jets and the Packers, 7.5-point favorites. The Packers at Lambeau Field. The over-under in this one, 44.5. I can go first if you want.
Go ahead.
This is one of my locks of the week. I am taking the over at 44.5 in this one. Zach Wilson versus Aaron Rodgers, a young defense for the Jets. You're giving me an all-time Hall of Fame caliber quarterback against a defense that may or may not be 30 years old on average combined. Hell, they might not be 26 on average combined. I'll take an inexperienced defense against Rodgers and a questionable defense in Green Bay with Zach Wilson putting up some points. So give me the over as one of my locks. I will take the Jets. I love the hook again. That's my new rule this season for the Jets. If you give me a half, I'm always going Jets. And remember the last time we saw 7.5 here? Green Bay was a 7.5-point favorite against New England. It was the ultimate sucker bet of the season. I sucked right on it and lost. I'm not buying it a second time. Give me the Jets to cover and give me the Jets over with the Packers, which is one of my locks.
I'll take Green Bay because you took the Jets.
Okay.
I'm gonna mush
right.
you. I'm gonna mush you. No, honestly, I could. This is one of those games that I feel like I catch myself doing this a lot. I just don't know enough about the Jets yet to give you this win. So, will I be extremely shocked if the Jets lose this game by 4 and cover, or if somehow they win and they find a way to get this W? No, I won't be all that shocked about it. But I think there's enough leadership in Green Bay to get everybody to, like, it's like one of those things where you pull somebody aside and go, sure, Aaron's a piece of crap. Yeah, we all take turns pissing on his toothbrush when he's not around. But he's a good quarterback and we can win football games. Get out there and play hard. And by the way, here's some icy hot. Put it in his jockstrap. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like, yeah. Like he thinks he did ayahuasca. No, he had food poisoning because we all took a crap in his water bottle and rinsed it out. Like, but I think the Jets are on the right path, but that path derails a little bit when they go up against Aaron Rodgers.
Last one here, our last pick, the Bills and the Chiefs, 425. I know it's not a standalone game, but man, it feels like with only 2 other games out there.
Well, it's the only one kicks off at 25 after.
True. Chiefs, first time ever we've said it. Mahomes an underdog at home, 2.5-point dog. Over under is 54 in this game.
Buffalo. I've been all over Buffalo straight through. This has been the second I knew this game was on the schedule. I like the Bills. The Bills are going to win this game. The Bills are going to win this game by a lot. I see this looking an awful lot like the opening game of the season. I think the Bills go in there and bitch slap them like they did the Rams to start the year.
It is week 6 of the NFL season. This is the first time you and I have 2 locks, strong locks. We both like the Saints. We both like the Bills. I think 1 week we had 2 locks, and one of us changed before we locked in a lock. So 1-1's our record. The exact scouting report you have for the Bills Chiefs
syrup
matches mine.
You doing shots of syrup? Corey from Greenwich is here doing shots of syrup.
Everything you said
he's like a real life Buddy the Elf.
Everything you said about this game, I agree with.
Yeah.
If anything, I would bet this up to 6.5. I would bet this game up to 6.5 and see if you can get a better number rather than the 50-50 as I call it, the -115. I love Buffalo. It is a lock for me.
Oh wait, you lay even more points.
That's how much I feel confident in Buffalo. I'd actually take them at 6.5. So to recap my locks, I've got the Bills -2.5, over under 44.5. I have the over for Jets Packers. I like the Saints +2.5 against the Bengals.
That was 3.
3, thank you. 3.
Yeah.
3. And I like the Panthers +9.5 against the Rams. Those are my 4 locks.
Lock it up. I got the Saints +3 as well. I got the Bills -2.5 as well. I got the Dallas Cowgirls to go ahead and give the Eagles their first blemish on the season. They're +6.5. And then the Denver Broncos, let's ride, +4.5 over the Chargers. This is Darfler form. What is this? What is this? Coffee? Coffee syrup?
Coffee. While you're enjoying,
that's really good. Like, I would do that at Waffles. Darfler Farms. You got to get that.
Oh,
he puts coffee beans in the syrup, and the syrup has a kick of coffee to it. It's still syrupy. Very good. Coffee beans.
I'll try that a little later.
No, you won't. You get none. Sorry. Right.
Q&A to end the day. Let's go to our guy who always likes to lead it off, the one and only Tommy Gross.
Tommy Gross.
2 questions for you guys today. What do you think of the crazy weekend for 4 top 10s going down yesterday? I think we covered that a little bit. So, Tommy, we kind of beat you to that. Second question, with Carolina listening to trade offers for Christian McCaffrey, if he is traded, what team do you think he goes to? Let me add to that report. Peter Schrader at NFL Network has reported this morning that if the Panthers are going to move Christian McCaffrey, they have called teams. They want multiple first-round picks. And as our pal Matthew Collar for Purple Insider quote tweeted and said, cool, I'm also going to sell my house for $14 billion.
Right. That's like a Corey from Greenwich trade.
That's right. It is.
Where Corey will go like, well, why don't they trade Zach Wilson for Aaron Rodgers and 6 first-round picks? Well, because they're not going to give you that. Stop it. So, first of all, I think you misread this. He said trade offers for Christian McCaffrey T.
Oh, McCafferty.
So
I'm
that's
sorry.
a different guy. It's a different player.
Lafferty Daniel. Gilmore happy.
I think there's definitely teams out there that could make the deal. Like, of course, you never want to be the one who looks like you're trying to make the deal. So by saying that you're willing to take offers on him, you instantly put yourselves in a weaker negotiating place. So firing up with, we want multiple first, you then are going to get, you're going to separate the wheat from the chaff. So like, if I'm going to call him and go, yeah, I'll give you a fifth rounder and a this and a that for him. Okay, you knew I wasn't going to. I want real value. So now you get a call from the Bills, and the Bills go, we're so freaking close. We'll give you 2 ones. We'll give you 2 ones. You want 2 ones? We'll give you 2 ones. And then they got to go, all right, well, those ones are really going to be 2s because they're 31st or 32nd pick every year.
Right.
So then you negotiate from there. Or, if you're, I don't know, is it the Rams? The Rams say they can get back in. I don't know what they have left to send you. Like, you gotta find a team that's willing to part with multiple ones, which means they think they're close, but not so close that you're going to get stuck with a 32nd or 31st pick.
Wouldn't you think that ranking the Panther roster, you would take Brian Burns as a pass rusher, kind of like a closer role in baseball, and DJ Moore because he's not playing well? Like those two, for NFL teams, I would believe would be better targets than McCaffrey. Because McCaffrey hasn't played well this season, and if you're a team that needs a pass rusher and a wide receiver, that price is probably better than the McCaffrey price. It'd be awesome if Buffalo got him. It'd be awesome. Corey mentioned Kansas City. I know Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, they've got so many backs.
I just don't think McCaffrey is the guy you move. And even for the future, let's say they draft Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud. Don't you want McCaffrey there to help out the rookie quarterback for next season so you're just not getting killed in the pocket? You got some type of other playmaker on offense?
Hasn't helped yet.
That is right. It has not helped yet with anybody under center. John Danielle says he misses us. One of our favorites here at the Hideaway.
I'm glad you miss us. That means I didn't have to see you.
I miss you, John Danielle.
But my aim's getting better.
What other one from Tommy Gross? 13.5 he sees the early in line for Syracuse and Clemson. I think you said that. Did you say 13.5?
No, I said it's probably 2 touchdowns, but
12 then. Yeah, you're close.
Yeah, 13% chance to win is what it was. I would probably take Clemson at 13.5.
I wanted 6.5. 13.5 still makes people want to bet Clemson. That is a lot bigger than I thought, though.
Then you would take your Q's if you thought they could keep within 7.
Money line. Cuse money line. Pick me up, Boston Dan. Let's go. Get me over the border.
How much are you going to bet on that?
$5.
Yeah. So Dan and I we're bet. So anybody who doesn't know, Boston Dan, myself, Goz, have a bet going. Start with $100 in the NFL. Whoever does the best by the end of the season, they win. Whoever does the worst, they have to drink the boot with whatever beer the other 2 want to put in it. So I just text the group and go, look, I'm probably throwing more money in today. I screwed up. I blew it. Whatever. Dan writes back, I'm at this, which is like, not as, a little worse than we thought he was, but he's whatever. And then we're sitting there like, how you doing, Mr. Pink Panties? Where are you at right now?
My account says 000.
Yeah, how much have you put into your account so far?
Not as much as you guys.
How much?
Less than $50.
Right. You're supposed to put $100 in up front and bet.
I thought it was $100 for the season. I thought $100.
Put $100 in and you go.
I'm not winning right now because I haven't hit the 100 yet.
So all right. So you want to bet Syracuse versus Clemson Moneyline?
Yes.
$50.
50 in a row? All of them?
Right now, $50.
I don't know. What does that pay? Was it
No,
plus 260? Plus 280? I'll think about it.
How about just straight up? 50-50. $50 I say Clemson wins. 50 you say Hughes wins.
Let me see the injury report first. All right. We got a lot of time to play it out here still.
You're such a wimp. You're such a wimp.
So you and I, what's our schedule for the rest of the week? You were off on the road here. Are we going virtual? Or are we going taped? Or are we a little surprised? We don't even know yet.
So I leave Friday morning for Columbus to go help out with open tryouts and everything down there with the Lions and Coach McKinney. So Tuesday can be normal.
Thursday, depending on how the Yankees play, we could be back under the orange roof. Austin Dan doesn't know about that yet.
I mean, that's up to you. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to be out late because I have to get on a plane at friggin' ass crack of dawn.
We'll drop you off. We'll have the Uber just drop you right off there at the airport.
I mean, I don't have a ride yet, so
nothing's more fun than getting on a plane hungover.
No, there's a few things, like all of the things.
Everything in life.
Yeah, I already don't like flying, and I like to drink to fly, so I'd have to still be drunk, which makes getting through TSA a bit of a bitch. It really isn't the easiest thing at that point. All right, so as of right now, we know we're doing Tuesday, and then Saturday we have, like I said, the Lions have open tryouts. We can always hop on the old link from there. I can be off in the corner
I'd be
after we
cool
get
with
everything
that.
set up, figure that out. But
We are not back in the Hideaway next week. We got some
I won't be
other
here.
obligations. Exactly right. I'm cool. I would love the idea of a
You're
live
not
Saturday show
You're not
from Columbus
You're
at
not
the tryouts. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, registration starts at 9. Tryouts start at 10. Once the tryouts start, I'm just there to supervise and make sure that any neo-Nazi who wants to sign up doesn't get to. So there's a report in the Columbus area that there's a former neo-Nazi who's going around to these open tryouts trying to get onto a team. Yeah. So
That's been reported there locally.
Yeah, in the news and everything.
Man.
So I have a picture of this dude that I'm bringing to everything. Changed the way we're doing signups down there. You have to fill out your paperwork in front of me with your ID.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what it's the glory and glamour of owning a football team. I got to go on a Nazi hunt. How's that feel? You want to trade? You want to trade what we're doing on Saturday?
No, I'm good.
All right,
good.
fine.
Very much good.
All right, is it time to watch football?
Let's go watch the football. Join us here at the Hideaway. Make sure you come for the 1 o'clock games. Hideaway will be closing at 4 today for a private event. So if you're watching this, please join us.
It's an event revolving around my privates.
Come to the Hideaway. Do you have any advice?
Yeah. Come celebrate my privates. That's the advice.